So we are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. It is our desire, not only with those of you who will sit here and we will play with, but it is our desire with each of you that you will soften any resistance to any desire that you hold. Soften any resistance. In other words, the doubt fades while the interest grows. The doubt dissolves while the knowing replaces it. And the result of that is satisfaction. The result of that is a feeling of love, but love is another word that we can't say to you very much because every time we say it, you think we mean what you mean. We don't use the word God either because you've got that all sort of mixed up. There are so many things that you perceive that we understand why you perceive them because you've been basing your perception on watching the behavior of others and even the behavior of yourself. But again, we want to emphasize that's old news. How anything is happening, how anything is behaving, what's going on anywhere with anyone is old news. So whenever you look at old news, do you know what old news is meant for? Old news is intended by you to be the bouncing off place to the new idea. Because it is the new idea in the making that is the greatest satisfaction of life. To have an idea of something that you desire and not be killing it with your doubt is the most delicious state of being. And then to witness universal forces, call it God force if you must, universal forces joining with your flowing of energy toward the gathering of the cooperative components for the results that you seek in terms of manifestation. Please understand, we are not in any way trying to divert your attention from manifestation. You came for manifestation because you are creators, and manifesting into physical form is the most delicious, most extended version of creation. You're not here without that which is non-physical. All that is non-physical is here with you on this leading edge, enjoying your manifestations. But non-physical is enjoying your manifestations in the making while you are so often yearning for them to come out where you can see them. It would be paramount to putting a kernel of corn in the ground with your knowledge that if it is tended to, that it will become that full plant with ears of corn that you can then harvest and enjoy. But you're stomping on the kernels of corn so often, demanding that they come out before you have allowed them the season, the tending, the nurturing, the natural evolution and expansion of the desire. And we want to help you to feel the satisfaction factor in standing in the absence of the manifestation, but the knowledge of its becoming. So that you don't have to see it in order to believe it. You believe it because you know the process. You believe it because you understand your worthiness. You believe it because you believe in the goodness of all that is. You believe it because you have this knowledge that is coming forth from within. And because you have been practicing the art of allowing for a little while, even though you can't see it, you believe it. And then you'll see it. But if you demand that you must see it before you believe it, then you're going to be stuck in this dissatisfaction mode. And that is the reason that we are here visiting with you. We think you should be happy all day, every day. It is our knowing that you are pure positive energy, and we know the eagerness with which you came forth into this physical experience. And if in any moment of time you're not feeling satisfied, joyful anticipation of things that are unfolding, then that means you're pinching yourself off from the part of you that we are referring to as your inner being, who is right here enjoying this process of unfolding. You cannot separate yourself from your inner being and what your inner being knows and feel good at the same time. And your inner being knows everything that you have sifted and sorted through the knowing what you don't want and knowing what you do want, and the launching of the rockets of desire into this vibrational reality. Your inner being is there with you relative to all of those things. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have, But if you could just not care about the manifestations as much as you feel about the satisfaction, the feeling of satisfaction as your creative juices are flowing, it would be like a sculptor who is so much more adoring the process of creating the sculpture than the sculpture that has been created. It's the process that gives you life, you see. And you got to sort of kind of know that, because every time, haven't you noticed, every time you ask for something and line up with it and it comes, isn't it very short-lived satisfaction in terms of it? Aren't you often running on something else again? Didn't your parents say to you, "You are never satisfied"? And they didn't mean that in a good way, because they thought that they were the vortex through which you thought all your good could come. And sometimes you thought that too. In other words, your parents weren't misunderstanding you completely. Isn't it a nice thing when you get it, that you have the ability and the right and the worthiness? That's the part that we're going to work on with you a little bit today. The worthiness to allow the natural unfolding of the cooperative components assembling to give you anything and everything that you want. And we think that before we're finished today, you'll be as enthusiastic about the process of unfolding as we all are about your process of unfolding. So, what do you want to talk about?
Hi. Oh man, I'm so glad to be here. I have so many questions, unlimited. Every time I hear an answer, I'm just like, but what about...
We have one answer. Go to the vortex. Go to the vortex. Go to the... Hardly worth $195, was it?
That's very entertaining. In between this time I've had the privilege to speak with you and the last time, which was in September of 2009, somehow or another, doesn't matter how, but I managed to activate a vibration of something I really didn't want. And it was enormous. And I was like, well, is this the time I should stick my head in the sand and not look around? Because it really feels like that would be a good idea. And it'd be, I'd be like driving to work and I go, well, there goes some evidence. It was just very, very difficult. And I kept making very powerful demands, to the universe, and just reminding myself, all is well. I know the universe knows what I want. It has it figured out way better than I could even possibly imagine. And all of a sudden, everything would be like, oh, that's pretty. I like that. And I wouldn't see that enormous, unwanted contrast. And then it would return, and then it would kind of fade away, and then just... I would do like some vibrational work, whatever you want to call it, play. And I would raise up and then kind of plateau and then dip down. And then I couldn't really go from despair or powerlessness past frustration. I would just stay in that little bank of thoughts. I couldn't get access to the next bank of thoughts. And I know that's all a frequency thing. And I don't know. And sometimes I just see like tremendous results. See the contrast is gone. And then another day could be the very next day, be right back to full bore, holy smokes.
Well, here's the thing. It's getting better already. That was funny. So here's the thing. So let's just accept that through life experience that you and everyone else have been sort of sloppily vibrating all over the place. So you have many points of attraction that please you and many points of attraction that don't please you, but no real discipline in the way you offer vibration, because you haven't really known about it. You haven't really been putting it together that your emotions are telling you, and you haven't been aware of this consistent source energy that you can always measure accurately against. You've been measuring against how that one responds and how that one responds and how that one responds, And they're all fickle and they want different things and they're all selfishly motivated. And so you're upside down and all around through life as you're trying to please this one and this one and this one. But now you're aware of this consistent vibration, of this source within you. And now you've got your feeling, your finger on the pulse of whether you're in alignment or whether you're not. And you're discovering in this new awareness that you've got a lot of active vibrations that don't resonate with who you really are. But through this process, even though you're not hitting a home run every single time and finding alignment, you are consciously, we love what we are hearing from you, recognizing that you know when you're in alignment and you know when you're not. And you're feeling frustration that you're not able to control it better. But the first and most important step is already taken place within you. You can feel the difference. You know when you're in alignment and you know when you're not. Now, this seminar today, the reason that we're directing it in the way that we are is because you're not the only one that's feeling this way. We're wanting to help you to shift into this awareness that once you have conscious knowledge of this vortex, and once you have conscious recognition of your proximity to it, now don't struggle in the thoughts that are holding you out, or don't struggle in the life experience that's not giving you all of the things that you want. This is the time to relax and let go, because your knowledge of what's really going on in the vortex and your willingness to release any thought that feels awful is the answer. You see, most people think that the answer is take that negative situation and solve it. Take that negative problem and solve it. Take that negative thought and turn it into a positive thought. That's sort of the trend that most people are thinking. And what we're wanting to say in such an emphatic way that we want to shout it is that that doesn't work. The more you try, the more counterproductive it is. That's why it just got worse and worse and bigger till it felt like it was everywhere. Everywhere. The answer is to let go and trust the process. Trust the vortex. Trust your well-being. Trust in the goodness of what you've put there. Trust in the goodness of who you are. Do anything and everything you can to get that negative thought out of your mind. Distract, 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 distract. And then watch the power of the vortex demonstrate to you quickly the new ease that you found. It will. It is our promise to you. It will. You cannot have the intensity that we feel within you without putting all kinds of power into your vortex. Coupled with your understanding that your emotions are letting you know when you're off. Now, if you can just hear, this is the piece that we're giving to you. When you feel that way, don't try. Don't try to fix it. That's not the time to fix it. That's the last time to fix it. It's the worst time to fix it. When you feel like that, don't try to fix it. That's the time to say, I'm not going to fix it. This is not the time. This is not the time. I'm going to go to the vortex and then. I'm going to go to the vortex and then. And if you can't figure out how to get to the vortex and you wouldn't be able to then just say, and I'll get in the vortex when I get in the vortex. In other words, it's really the I give up feeling that we want you to offer there. No more struggle. No more struggle, because first, I don't have to struggle to succeed. I can't struggle and succeed. I don't have to try in order to accomplish. I've already accomplished. My work is done. Now it's time for me to claim the benefit of it. I'm going to chill. I'm going to let the universe show to me. I'm going to let the universe prove to me how good I am.
Yeah. I have two more very quick questions.
We're going to take a segment of refreshment.
Okay.
Good time for it. And when we return, we may call you back. Good time for it.
Thank you very much.